Greetings. Welcome to another Tesla Taxi ride-along video. This is on Monday, February 9th. Started at 6 o'clock in the morning. Going on my way right now to pick up my first trip, which is going to take me over to the shipyards. So I'm in Hampton here, waiting for my rider. Again, these videos are full self-driving, showing us using it as Uber driver in this case. You can tell that the car is using full self-driving because of the blue line on the screen there. I do have my hands on the steering wheel, but that's for the passenger's comfort. I am not really driving this car right now. The car is driving itself, going through all these turns and stuff. We're going to go up on 664 here, heading towards the shipyards. All right, let this guy out. Now we're going for the next trip. When I'm not carrying a passenger, I don't put my hands on the steering wheel. So you can see here that the car is truly doing everything. I do have to drive every once in a while to find the right spot. This was to make sure that I was in the right location to pick up that passenger. You know, the GPS is only so good, and it's not necessarily matched to the same GPS that Uber gives, because Uber actually has a location marker for their people, and often the location's a lot more precise on the Uber app than it is in the Tesla app, even though the information came from the Uber app over to the Tesla app. So this trip was a nice long trip over to Norfolk from Newport News. That's pretty much the way this day went. It was 13 trips, 6 hours, 6.5 hours from 6 a.m. to 12:30. I earned $160.77. We just went through the Merrimack Tunnel there. We still got a ways to go to get to Norfolk. Of course, I'm running these at 20 speed because what I'm primarily showing is that full self-driving is doing the robotaxi stuff. For the most part, I do tend to have to interact at the very end, at the very beginning, like I just did then, letting the person off. But even getting the information from the Uber app over to the Tesla, that's all automated now. It gets just passed over. All I have to do is just press the button on the screen and we're driving. Well, actually, we're not driving. The car is. Earlier versions of full self-driving used to have a lot of problems with going directly into the sun. It seems they've solved it. Version 14, I've had more than one instance where the sun was right there on the horizon, pretty blinding to my eyes, and yet the cameras were able to compensate and not shut the FSD down like I have seen in earlier versions. Again, there was another instance of me having to use the steering wheel to get the passenger to drop off, but now we're on our way to the next pickup. Let the car do it. So there it's into the driveway. That time, Full Self-Driving took it right into the driveway. Pressed start driving, and it backed itself out as well. Should maybe slow those down next time, because you see that actually happen. It does happen kind of fast in these videos, doesn't it? Off to the next trip. I get bounced around Norfolk here for a little bit. Press the button and off we go again to the next pickup. Every once in a while I do have to, redirect the car. Usually that's because there's a difference between the path that Uber wants me to take and the path that the Tesla has directed. So I'll just, re-steer the car in the way that Uber wants me to go, or whatever way I decide to. Again, press the screen and off we are. As you can see, the car handles, Full Self-Driving handles all sorts of different traffic conditions. Again, I take control to bring the passenger to the drop-off spot. And now we're on our way to the next trip. Got another passenger. So we got a little bit of a run of passengers here and bouncing around Norfolk. I like it when it happens like that, especially when the pickups are close. I like those less than 2-3 mile pickups. Just bounce around the corner, take your next ride, take them to where they need to go. So you're going to drop off that passenger, and then I'm going to turn off the app and head towards the superchargers over at Royal Farms. I'm on Northampton Boulevard here. I'm going to be coming up and heading down Military Highway to get to the chargers on Virginia Beach Boulevard at the Royal Farms, and that's where I am now. So I was here for about a half hour, a little bit over, and I shut off the camera. And now that I'm back online, well, actually, I'm not online yet. What I've done is I've put in to the Tesla GPS to take me to the cell phone waiting lot, which is where we wait for trips at the airport. And this is a typical strategy that I have. I work the morning, starting as early as I can, catch that supercharger at Royal Farms before 10 o'clock in the morning, because that's when the price goes up from 20 cents a kilowatt, and then go to the airport with a full charge, sit there with trip radar, waiting for somebody going back across the tunnel, back over to the Hampton side. And that's what I've got now, is a trip I picked up from the airport that's taking me back over the river, under the river, to be honest, or accurate. So I'm going to get back onto the other side here with this trip. Again, we're on I-64, heading what they say is west. It always feels more like north to me, but I-64 going over the Hampton Bridge Bay Tunnel, Hampton Bridge Tunnel. I don't know why I keep on throwing the bay there. There's the tunnel, and we're out on the other side. Smooth run. Sometimes that run is not smooth at all, but that was. Very glad for that. Taking this person up into Hampton. And then I'll take a few more trips in the Hampton area before I head on home. So again, this was the full day. For me, 6 hours, which is what I've been doing lately. Driving for Uber. Earned $160.77 in the 6 hours. And that includes charging. So when I was done with these trips here that I'm doing now in Hampton, on that side of the river, because that's where I live. I live in Hampton. I was still parked with about 70% in the battery. So when I start on the next morning, I have a good charge. And I'll try to follow the same strategy where I'll use up as much battery as I can up until 10 o'clock in the morning and then charge there at the Royal Farms, because that's the latest price jump. It's at 10 o'clock. There are other charging places that make the price jump at 9. Others that make the price jump at 8. And if we're jumping at 8 o'clock, it's rare that I'm low enough in the battery to want to charge at 8 o'clock. Plus, the business is still running pretty strong at 8 o'clock. Where at 10 o'clock, it's starting to slow down. And then there's a little window, usually between 11 and 12, where there's enough flights in that I can get something that's going to take me back over to the Hampton side. And so that's the strategy I try to do. This day, it worked pretty darn well. I'm not complaining at $160 for 6 hours of work. And I don't have the mileage of what it actually ran me that day. I'm pretty sure it was under, it was. It's under 160 miles. I believe it was 147 miles. So I had $160 and 147 miles. And that's the way I like it. Something to notice that full self driving is going through these construction zones flawlessly over and over again. I believe this is one more trip back to the university, to the library, and then that was it for me. And I was done for the day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Help me grow the channel. Take care.